Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and this is the encouraging word for today. Let's talk about how to overcome feelings of rejection. It's not something to be ignored. The pain of rejection causes deep hidden scars in our inner person. Paul has been rejected by the disciples in Jerusalem. He went there all excited, on fire for God, to show and testify how Jesus had the power to change his life, and they didn't believe him and wouldn't receive him. Now, we saw yesterday it's not Paul's fault. That's their issue. But there's emotional damage when someone rejects us, when someone who should be loving us, who should be accepting us, rejects us like a parent, and we cannot ignore the damage. Excuse me. It would be like tripping and falling and hurting your ankle and just ignoring that there's something wrong with your ankle. You'll walk around the rest of your life limping, and many people walk around limping emotionally because of the pain of rejection. So what is Paul going to do? He just say, forget about it. I'm going to just start my own ministry. I'll do my own thing, go his own way. No, he does not take that step. Jesus is all about healing and restoration and resolution. And if we ignore hurts, they cannot get healed. Listen to Acts chapter 9, verse 27. This is right after he's rejected. But Barnabas took him, Paul, and brought him to the apostles. He told them how Saul on his journey had seen the Lord, and that the Lord had spoken to him, and how in Damascus he had preached fearlessly in the name of Jesus. Barnabas, one of the most selfless heroes in the Bible. He sees that's what's happening is not right, and he decides to mediate and do his part to make it right. You see, Satan loves a lack of unity. In fact, Satan tries to bring disunity in families, in marriages, and in churches. And he's been pretty successful if you take a look around society today. But we must make every effort to maintain the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. You know who said that? Paul in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 3. Make every effort to maintain unity. Maybe he learned that lesson from watching what Barnabas did here in the book of Acts, early in his Christian journey. There was disunity between Paul and the disciples in Jerusalem. Not good. It was going to hinder God's work. Can you imagine if they had just broken off? It would have been impossible. So Barnabas wants to maintain unity. He wants to be the go-between. So he goes to them and vouches for Paul. And they become united together, and everything is united. I'm sure they were asking for forgiveness, and there was Paul giving of forgiveness. I'm sure there was a coming together and an understanding and a clearing the air, so to speak. When we ignore the hurts or ignore what happens, there's never a clearing of the air, and we walk around with that emotional limp. Restoration. So how does it take place today? Well, in Matthew chapter 18, Jesus gives us a procedure. Someone sins against you, rejects you, you go to them one-on-one and you try to make it right. If that doesn't work, you bring another person with you. If that doesn't right, tell it to the church, the leadership of the church. There must be resolution within you. If there's a hurt, there's a damage. And resolution comes when we forgive the person who hurt us, when we release that person. It's as if we're saying, yes, you hurt me. Yes, you were wrong, but I forgive. I let it go. God will deal with you, but I let it go. I am free. Now, in a perfect world, they would ask us for forgiveness if they wronged us. But guess what? We do not live in a perfect world. And sometimes, many times actually, people do not come. And sometimes the people who we have to talk to are not safe people that we can go to and resolve it with. But we still must forgive. There are many different ways to do that. We don't have time in this video to go into that. You could write a letter and just bury it in the ground, talk to a third person about it. But you acknowledge the rejection, acknowledge the hurt, and lay it at the altar. God, I forgive. I put it in your hands. And healing comes into our heart. So I hope that's helpful. I know forgiveness is a big issue, but forgiveness is the key to healing the pain of rejection. Tomorrow, Wednesday, I'll see you live on Facebook at 7:15 a.m. Talk to you then.